The maternity ward in Crestwood General was quiet. Too quiet. Elena Vaughn lay weak against the stiff hospital pillows, sweat still cooling on her skin, her body aching from hours of labor. In her trembling arms rested her newborn son, Noah, his tiny fingers curled around nothing, unaware of the storm building outside that small hospital room. Elena pressed her lips gently to his forehead. "You're safe," she whispered. "Mama is here." She had no idea that safety was about to shatter. The door burst open so violently it struck the wall with a sharp crack. Elena flinched. In walked Lorraine Carter, tall, polished, and dripping with disapproval. Her heels struck the tiles like a judge delivering a sentence. Behind her stood Daniel Carter, Elena's husband, or at least the man she had married. He didn't move forward. He didn't speak. He didn't look at his wife. Lorraine's eyes swept over the room, landing on the baby like she was inspecting damaged goods. "So this is it?" she said coldly. "After everything my son sacrificed?" Elena blinked, confused and still weak. "I just gave birth," she murmured. Lorraine stepped closer to the bed, placing a file on the small hospital table. The sound was deliberate. "Sign it." Elena looked down. Divorce papers. Her vision blurred. "Daniel?" she whispered, searching his face for something, love, guilt, hesitation. She found none. "It's for the best," he muttered, not meeting her eyes. For the best. Hours after she delivered his child. Lorraine folded her arms. "You trapped him with pregnancy. We won't allow it. The Carter family does not make mistakes." Elena's grip tightened protectively around her baby. Trapped him. She had supported Daniel through every failed business idea, every reckless investment, every time he came home defeated. She had never complained, never demanded, never revealed who she truly was. Because Daniel had always said he wanted a simple wife, a quiet life. So she buried her empire, buried her influence, buried the fact that Vaughn Holdings quietly owned more property in Crestwood than the Carter family could dream of. Lorraine leaned closer. "You and that child will receive a small settlement. After that, you disappear." Daniel finally spoke. "Please don't make this harder than it has to be." "Harder?" Elena let out a soft, broken laugh. Her body hurt. Her heart hurt more. But something inside her, something powerful, began to wake up. She slowly reached for the pen. Lorraine smiled in triumph. Elena signed. But she signed because war had just begun. She looked up at Daniel the last time. "You have no idea what you just lost." He frowned, confused. Lorraine scoffed. Elena gently kissed Noah's forehead. Then she picked up her phone. One message. That was all it took. Within 30 seconds, across the city, Carter's Construction's biggest contract was frozen. 3 banks initiated sudden audits. Their overseas shipment was flagged for inspection. Their stock value began to drop. Lorraine's phone rang first. She ignored it. Then it rang again and again. Daniel's phone followed. He stepped back, answering, his face drained of color. "What do you mean our investors are pulling out?" Lorraine snatched her own phone. Her expression changed. For the first time, fear. Elena adjusted her hospital gown calmly. "You declared war," she said softly. Daniel stared at her. "What did you do?" She smiled, the smile of a woman who had hidden her power for too long. "You should have asked who I was before trying to destroy me." Outside, Crestwood's skyline shimmered under the afternoon sun. And inside that hospital room, the Carter empire began to collapse, brick by brick. Because they thought they humiliated a weak woman. They never realized they just challenged the wrong queen.
Carter family mansion stood tall on Hawthorne Ridge. White walls, iron gates, imported marble floors. Luxury built on reputation, and reputation built on borrowed power. Inside the study, Lorraine Carter paced like a woman being hunted. "This is sabotage," she snapped, slamming her phone onto the mahogany desk. "Someone is targeting us." Daniel stood near the window, staring at the city skyline. His phone was still in his hand. Our contracts are frozen. Investors are withdrawing. Even the Singapore deal collapsed. Lorraine stopped pacing. Who would dare? There was a knock on the door. Enter. Mr. Raymond Brooks, the family's longtime legal advisor, stepped inside. But today he didn't look confident. His suit was slightly wrinkled, his tie loose. That wasn't random, he said carefully. Lorraine folded her arms. Explain. Brooks swallowed. I traced the intervention orders. And? He hesitated. They came from Vanguard International. Silence. Daniel frowned. That's impossible. Lorraine's face tightened. Vanguard only intervenes when their own interests are threatened. Brooks nodded slowly. Yes, ma'am. Daniel's mind raced. Vanguard International wasn't just powerful, it was untouchable. Governments negotiated with them. Billionaires respected them. Competitors avoided crossing them. But they had no connection to Vanguard. None. Unless... Daniel's stomach dropped. Elena. Lorraine laughed sharply. Don't be ridiculous. That girl has nothing. Brooks cleared his throat. Ma'am, Elena Vaughn. Lorraine's smile faded. What about her? Brooks placed the tablet on the desk and turned it around. On the screen was a corporate ownership structure. At the very top, Vaughn Global Trust. Under it, Vanguard International Holdings. Lorraine's breathing changed. No. Daniel stepped forward slowly. That's just a coincidence. Brooks shook his head. Elena Vaughn is the sole heir and majority shareholder of Vaughn Global Trust. Silence fell heavy. Daniel felt like the floor disappeared beneath him. No, she told me she had a small family business. Brooks gave him a look filled with pity. She never lied. Vaughn Global started as a small business 50 years ago. Lorraine grabbed the tablet. This says she controls 51% of Vanguard International. Yes. The room felt smaller, colder. Daniel remembered the nights Elena stayed up late, working quietly on her laptop. He remembered the calls she would take outside. He remembered how she never complained when his mother insulted her, never defended herself, never fought back. She had just watched. Lorraine's voice trembled slightly. Why would she marry into this family if she had that kind of power? Brooks answered softly. Perhaps she loved your son. Daniel's chest tightened painfully. Loved. And he had walked into her hospital room hours after she gave birth with divorce papers. His phone buzzed again. Another notification. Carter Construction shares suspended pending investigation. Lorraine slammed the tablet down. We will fix this. Brooks looked uneasy. Ma'am, with respect, this isn't something we fix. Daniel whispered, almost to himself. She said, we have no idea what we just lost. He finally understood. Meanwhile, across the city, in a private hospital suite upgraded within minutes of her message, Elena sat beside her sleeping son. The room was different now. Private security outside the door. Doctors on standby. Luxury. Quiet. Control. Her assistant, Amelia Reyes, stood beside the window. Orders have been executed. Phase 1 is complete. Elena gently traced her finger along Noah's tiny hand. Any response from the Carters? They're in panic mode. Elena's expression didn't change. Good. Amelia hesitated. Do you want to destroy them completely? Elena looked out at the skyline. Her eyes were no longer soft. They tried to take my child from me. Her voice was calm, too calm. I won't destroy them, she continued. I'll let them watch everything crumble slowly. Amelia nodded. And Daniel? For a split second, something flickered in Elena's eyes. Pain, then steel. He made his choice. Outside, storm clouds gathered over Hawthorne Ridge, and for the first time in decades, the Carter family felt something unfamiliar. Powerlessness. Because the woman they tried to humiliate was the storm.
Daniel hadn't slept. Not after the market suspension, not after the board meeting ended in silence, not after investors demanded explanations he didn't have. But what haunted him most wasn't the collapsing company. It was Elena's voice. You have no idea what you just lost. By morning, he was standing outside Crestwood Elite Medical Tower, the upgraded private wing. The same hospital, different world. Two men in dark suits blocked the entrance. I'm here to see my wife, Daniel said, trying to sound confident. Name? One guard asked calmly. Daniel Carter. The guard checked a tablet, then looked up. You are not on the access list. Daniel blinked. That must be a mistake. I'm her husband. The guard didn't react. You are not on the list. The word husband suddenly felt fragile. Daniel pulled out his phone and called Elena. It rang. Once. Twice. Voicemail. He tried again. Straight to voicemail. He swallowed hard. I just need to speak to her. 5 minutes. The guard's voice remained steady. Sir, you need authorization. Authorization. To see his own wife. The glass doors behind the guard slid open. A woman stepped out. Sharp suit, calm expression, controlled presence. Amelia Reyes. She looked directly at Daniel. Mr. Carter. Where is she? I need to explain. Amelia studied him for a moment. Explain what? He ran a hand through his hair. I made a mistake. Amelia's lips curved slightly. Not a smile, something colder. You made a decision. He lowered his voice. I didn't know who she was. Amelia tilted her head. And if you did? The question hit him harder than he expected. Would he have stayed if he knew she was powerful? Was his love real or conditional? Daniel didn't answer. Amelia stepped closer. She bled for 12 hours bringing your son into this world. His chest tightened. She asked for you. Daniel's breathing stopped. She asked if you were coming. The memory crashed into him standing beside his mother, holding divorce papers. Amelia raised her hand, silencing him. She doesn't wish to see you. Daniel's voice cracked slightly. Tell her I'm sorry. I did. And? Amelia's expression didn't change. She said, sorry doesn't rebuild trust. The words landed like a verdict. Behind the tinted glass upstairs, Elena stood by the window, holding baby Noah. She could see Daniel below. Small, restless, lost. Her body still ached. Her stitches still burned. But her heart hurt worse. He came. Not when she was in labor. Not when she was scared. Not when she needed him. He came when the power shifted. She turned away from the window. Is he still there? She asked softly. Yes, Amelia replied through her earpiece. Elena closed her eyes briefly. Let him wait. Downstairs, Daniel remained standing. Minutes turned into an hour. His phone buzzed again. Breaking news alert. Vaughn Global Trust confirmed majority shareholder of Vanguard International. The article continued. Sources reveal Elena Vaughn, recently connected to the Carter family through marriage, has quietly maintained controlling influence over multiple international assets. Daniel stared at the screen. His wife, the woman he thought needed saving, the woman his mother called a gold digger,
owned half the city, owned the contracts he begged for, owned the future he just destroyed. His knees felt weak. Lorraine's call came through. "Where are you?" she demanded. "At the hospital. Leave there immediately. Reporters are starting to ask questions. Do not embarrass this family further." Daniel looked up at the glass building. For the first time in his life, he didn't feel like a Carter heir. He felt like a man who chose pride over love. Upstairs, Elena gently kissed baby Noah's tiny forehead. "He will learn," she whispered to her son. "Never beg for a seat at the table you built." Her eyes hardened slightly. "Let them feel what I felt." Outside, the wind picked up, and Daniel Carter realized something terrifying. The hardest door to open was not the hospital entrance. It was the one he closed himself.